Active FM. Radio has never been better.
What is up?
What is going on in this place?
This is a podcast.
And
that is what's going on.
And you're listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Or watching it.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I'm looking at the camera. You. Yes, you. And my name's Ryan.
My name is Sash. Oh my goodness! We do not have the person that accused me of being a guest star on our show this week.
I was actually thinking of still putting his camera up and having his empty chair.
We should have done that
Hopefully,
actually. I'm actually in his chair and you're in my chair.
Yes.
So technically you're not in the show.
Ryan is
not with
here.
us. No, we're joking. Tim is not with us today. He is in the beautiful Cape Town. We are not jealous at all. At all.
And he's busy rowing right now. No, yachting.
No, he's not.
Right?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's missing us right now. That's what he's doing. He's missing the movie show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Tim. We'll hold the fort and welcome you back as a guest next week.
Yeah, as a guest. That's right. If you haven't been here for a show, then
if you ditch us for
yes.
Cape Town, then you get guest treatment.
Then
Although
that's what you get.
you generally treat a guest well, so... Except for me
maybe
last
not.
week. Okay, yeah. So today we are doing a film review, but the film we chose is actually, it's quite an interesting film. Should we tell them the background
Yeah.
to why we did this film?
The background.
Yeah. So we are currently in a 21-day fast.
There you go.
And part of this fast, we decided to not only fast food, which we normally do, but we decided to fast any secular films, TV series, everything. So we've been on a only Christian content type of vibe, and it's actually been pretty cool.
Yeah.
My family and I are doing a Hobbit marathon at the moment because The Hobbit was written by J.R. Tolkien, who was a very committed Christian.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. And that was pretty cool. And we're even watching the extended cut, which is pretty cool.
You get an extended cut?
There's an extended cut. I didn't even know there was an extended cut.
Is the film longer?
It is longer.
Not
and
longer?
It's 3. The first one was 3 hours. The first one out of 3.
So where did you get the extended cut?
On iTunes.
On iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Look out for that one.
Yeah. So we did that. There was another film I watched which was brilliant, called Breakthrough. Very good film. And then there've been some weird ones we've watched. Breakthrough, yes. Very good film. It was recommended to me by a friend in 2020. And it took me 2 years to watch it. But it was brilliant. When I watched it, I was like, I'm sorry, man. I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very good film.
Yeah, I know those films.
Yeah. But then this week we are doing another Christian film called Priceless. Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, the director, the main actor, they're a bunch of brothers. If anybody knows For King and Country, the band.
Brilliant band.
Yeah.
Love them.
That's them.
Yeah.
When you see the main
character, the
guy,
protagonist,
you're like, wait a minute, I know that guy. I know that guy.
Yeah. So it's actually the story of how this film came to be is quite interesting.
Yeah. So it's based on a true story.
Yes. So what happened was, the For King and Country is made up of 2 brothers, Joel and Luke Smallbone, but they have other brothers and actually an older sister. I didn't even know that. She's apparently a famous gospel singer, and their other brother Ben is a director, and he actually directs a lot of their music videos, and their music videos are brilliant.
They are good. Yeah.
Their music videos are one of the best music videos from a band I've ever seen. They're brilliant.
I believe the band started off by making soundtracks for movies, and I think that not a lot of their stuff was used.
I didn't know that.
So eventually, if you listen to their stuff, it sounds very
cinematic. No, it does.
Yeah.
There's even this one song on their latest. They've got an album coming out this year, so not that album, but that album, they've released 4 songs so far. It's stunning. But the previous album, there was a song called Fight On, Fighter, and there was the normal version, and then they actually released a cinematic version of the same song.
You mean you get more cinematic than their songs?
so they
Wow.
released another an
Sure.
even more, so it was pretty cool. But the soundtrack was, I loved the soundtrack.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually listened and then how I found the film was I was looking, so Christian music as well. We're on a Christian music tip, which has also been awesome. But I was looking through like soundtracks and that, and I happened upon this soundtrack, and I was like, For King and Country did a movie soundtrack. That's cool. And then when I went and looked like more into it, I was like, wait a minute, that's and then figured out, wow, they made a movie, which is.
There's actually other movies that I saw that the director did, Ben Smallbone. And I was like, I actually want, because this was a 2016 film.
Yeah.
And there's a more later one, I think a 2020 and a 2021.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hope I'm not mistaken. But I saw a more recent one. I was like, okay, I maybe want to check that. There's one of them that I think it's called I Still Believe, that he was involved in.
That was a good film.
Yeah.
That was a very good film.
So I was like, wow, okay, this guy's been around.
That is pretty cool.
Yes.
So the whole theme of this film is actually to speak out against human trafficking. That is what the whole film is based on. And I was actually watching a couple of interviews with Joel and Luke, who are the two guys in the band For King and Country, and they actually said that how this film was kind of like a process, in that it wasn't just they were sitting around the table like eating breakfast and like, let's make a movie, and then okay, cool, what do you want to make it about? It wasn't that. Like, it was actually quite a build up to this film. So they said that their older sister is a famous gospel singer, and she was a gospel singer before they were even a band, and as a family they would often help out, back up as the band, or do whatever they needed to do at a concert. And eventually they were part of her band, but they were also performing a couple of their own original stuff. She was doing a women's event, and just before they went on stage, their mom told them that they have an opportunity to share something with these girls, because obviously it was a female audience, being a women's event, and that got them thinking. And so what they actually did is, at this event, they shared with the girls their worth. So they spoke about how much worth girls and women have, and then they also charged themselves to be chivalrous as men towards women in their love, and stepping into a very protective role, and placing worth on women, and saying their message is that a woman is worth all the money in the world. So you cannot actually put a price on a girl. It's not like you can say, she's worth $1 million or whatever. A woman is priceless. And so that then in turn inspired them, because they made a song called Priceless, which is on one of their albums, and they created this necklace, which was a Australian, I think it was a 1 cent coin, that they would then they literally put the coin on a necklace and put an emblem on the coin, to basically also signify that a woman is priceless. You can't put a price on her.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And then eventually they were like, you know what, why don't we make a film about this? Why don't we take this, because of how people responded to the song and the merch and all of that. And then they sat down with their brother, who's a director, and so what he did was he actually pulled a true story from a human trafficking true story, because the film is based on true events, and then they merged that with the Priceless, so the song Priceless that For King and Country does or sings. They merged that message together, and that's how they came up with the storyline. Yeah, so that is basically the story behind the film. But I honestly loved it. I thought the storyline was a really good storyline.
Yeah, the storyline was good.
Yeah, it was eye-opening. You know how you often watch movies just to be entertained, which is, there's nothing wrong with. I mean, it is a form of escape for most people, but you get these films where you watch it and it actually inspires you to do something, it gets you thinking, and it's wow, what am I doing with my life? This is one of those films.
Yeah.
So that it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because that, what was his name? James. James had an opportunity to. The only thing that I battled with this film was, trying to see it, trying to actually get
As in watch it.
watch it, yeah. Because I looked everywhere for it. I couldn't even rent it.
Really?
So I was like willing to throw money.
Please,
at the
someone give me the
producers.
film.
Yeah, I was willing to throw money at it.
Because it's on Prime Video, but it's not on South African.
It's not available in South Africa.
VPN it, people.
Yeah.
VPN it.
So I was like, shucks, you know.
Yeah, no. That's the only thing that does suck is that like things like this are a little bit hard to come by.
Yeah. How many cinemas do you think there are in the world? Like millions, right?
Right.
Because I heard that when this movie was released, it was only shown in like 303 cinemas.
Serious?
On release date, yeah. It's very few.
In the world.
It's a pity though, because it's, you know, with a film like this, you would imagine, and I mean, it's not like I don't know if you remember any of the production companies beforehand. What do they call them? You know, the guys who like get the distribution movie. And there were, I mean, the first opening one was a really well known one. Was it 21st Century?
I can't remember.
I just remember, yeah. But it's some big distribution companies. I don't know if maybe if they didn't have a lot of money or something to distribute it. But for me, it was just like, come on.
I must be honest. I honestly, the first time I heard about this film was on Apple Music, which is like the weirdest place, I promise you. Because I wasn't even looking for films. I found it just before we started the fast, and I was like, oh, there's a Christian movie I can add on to the list. Cool. And I was like, oh, it's for King and Country.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I was searching for King and Country. That's actually what I was doing on Apple Music. Not looking for a film, looking for music. And then like saw this, and I was like, oh, that's cool. They did a soundtrack.
They did a soundtrack for Ben-Hur, am I right?
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
That is so cool.
I know, because my wife is like a huge King
She's actually the one that introduced me as well.
She told me. So when it was spoken about in one of our services, my wife was like, see, that's the movie. That's the movie. I'm like, okay, well, we're doing it for the movie show, so guess what we're watching on Saturday? She's like, yay!
And she enjoyed it.
And we watched it, and then I asked her, so what did she think? And she was like, yeah, it was a good film. It was a good film.
Yeah.
It was a good film.
For me, the film was good. The storyline was brilliant. I really enjoyed the storyline. It wasn't okay. The ending wasn't predictable. Like the way they did the ending, I think was brilliant. Where they did, I think it was 1 year later. Like that, the way it like cuts in a very dramatic point, and you were like, oh, like the scene had come to a point where you were like, okay, this is cool. But at the same time, it was still like, oh, and then it went 1 year later, and you're like, wait, what? And then a completely new character walks out, and you're like, who's that? Why is she here? And then, but the way they played it out then was brilliant. Like the way they just showed you this is what's happened without like showing you the events. Like, and then the way I really loved the way it like ended, and
because you don't know what
you don't know what happened,
what to expect. And the guy played James. It's Joel, right?
Yeah, he's Joel Smallbone. Yeah.
I was wondering, because did I ask you? I said, did he still have because he's Australian? Did he still have his Australian accent? And in the movie, when it first starts and I'm listening to him, I must say he did really, really well with his American accent. If I didn't know him, if I didn't know for King and Country, I would have never guessed that he was Australian. And obviously, because when you're when you're an actor, when you're actually a full-time actor, it's part of your thing to get the accent right and whatever. I mean, we were talking in our last show about what's his name, Venom. Tom Hardy, and how like you've never heard his original accent, or you probably have, but not, And if I think about like Tom Holland, a lot of actors, when you first hear them talking in an interview, and you're like, wait, what? He's British. It's crazy because that's part of their profession. Yeah. But now for this guy, he's more musician, so you,
it doesn't count.
You kind of think to yourself, is there going to be a lot of effort into it? Are we going to laugh because But very well done.
No,
I must say. I was just like, sure.
He actually said it was very daunting for two reasons. Because first of all, it was the main role, because he played the main role. And then the second was because it was an American role. And he said like that was very daunting for him. But he did have an accent coach who worked with him. And he did a brilliant job. Even as the main character, like his acting wasn't like, sometimes you're like, okay. He's not an actor, he's a singer. Like, I don't know if have you ever seen Madonna? I'm not trying to be ugly, but have you ever watched a film where Madonna was in it acting?
I don't think so.
I've seen like the ones, back in the day, I don't know what, we were flipping through the different channels, and we happened upon a film where Madonna was acting, and as much as she can sing, she cannot act. Like, it's really bad. Like, she cannot act.
Sure.
He wasn't like this. He was actually... I thought he was very good. And I was even watching an interview with, so him and his brother, and they were actually doing an interview with their two wives, because on their latest album, the four of them sang a song together. And the radio presenter that was doing the interview actually said to Joel, by the way, your acting was really, really good in the film. So, yeah, no, it was proper.
Yeah, it was proper.
Did you recognize any other person in the film?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his surname, but when I saw his face, I was
Right.
like, I know this guy.
David
I don't know
Kushner.
where. Yeah, I was like, I don't know where.
No,
I know this guy.
Do you know where you know him
He's from The Office.
He's from The Office. I was like,
Yeah.
I looked at him, and then eventually I was like, no, wait a minute, that dude is from the... It was such a different role, because
It
in The
is.
Office he's got quite like a little bit of a crude role.
He
like,
did it well.
And he often does comedy, but he was serious.
No, he was proper.
No, he was very good.
He was
I
very
enjoyed
cool.
him very, very,
I liked
very
his
much.
character. For me, I was looking at his character. I'm like, wait, is this like the Holy Spirit character? Is this like Jesus? You know, is this who's this? Is this like God? Because the way he was just like so settled and just so like sure about whatever's going on. He's like, get your truck off, you know.
Yeah.
And and then he I don't want to spoil it.
The other person that apparently, I actually don't know him. I've never seen him before, but his name is Jim Perrick. And he apparently has been in Suicide Squad. He was even in a film with
Who's that?
Brad Pitt.
Which?
He was the main villain. So he played the pimp.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, his acting was not the greatest. I don't know what you felt. I don't know. I felt like he was trying to be evil, but like he wasn't getting there. Like, I remember you once said I think it was when we were doing The Chosen. We did a show on The Chosen.
Yeah.
And you said the problem with Christian movies is the villain has the joy of the Lord on their
Yeah.
face. And you're just like, I almost felt like
There's
that.
just this lightness about
Yes.
it.
I don't know if he's a Christian, but I just felt like
Supposed to be the scared.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm not scared of him.
he's bad, but
Don't
he's
know why.
nice at the same time. You're like,
yeah.
so for the acting it wasn't award-winning acting. I'm not going to rant and rave about the acting. Joel did a very good job, especially considering the fact that he's not an actor by profession. He's a musician and singer.
Yeah.
So he did do very well. Yeah. I think maybe it also came in with like the extra roles. Yeah.
But there was something about his little gang or whatever that he had that for me it wasn't intimidating enough.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was you weren't like.
So, I thought of some plot points. Tell me what you think, right?
Okay.
So first of all, there was intensity in the film.
Yeah, there
right?
was. Do you know? Sorry, it was at one point my mom couldn't watch. She stood
Which
up
part?
when he's
The
trying
part in
to
the hotel.
Yeah. Yes. No.
We got the phone call.
No.
Oh, okay.
The part where he goes to find her. The second time he goes to find her.
Oh, yes.
This is us trying to not give spoilers, people.
Yeah.
So my mom was, she was finished. She like literally stood up. She was like, don't pause it. Because if like she stands up, we'll be like, do you want us to pause? She was like, don't pause it.
Was
She
that at
walked
night?
to the kitchen.
Was at night?
She walked to the kitchen, washed the dishes, and was like, came back a few minutes, like 15 minutes later, was like, oh, okay. Whew. So she actually
over
couldn't,
yet?
she couldn't handle it. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So the intensity, definitely. I think we spoke about the bad guy, the lacked depth. But, all right. The one question that I had was, well, what... You know the first time that he delivers... Okay, there was only once that he delivers the package. Let's just put it that way. But, like, for example, over there, when the lock wasn't locked, and you're just like, oh, no, it's fine, my friend, you know,
Yeah.
like, carries on. But, like, what happens if you beat him up? Why is it open? What do
Yeah.
you know? You better shut your mouth, you know, that type of thing. Because I was, like, expecting it. Then it was released. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So, like for me, like right there. Now, imagine if you beat him up. He's like, you better shut your mouth. You better not say anything about this. Throw him. They're about to kill him. No, please, I swear I won't say anything. And then it's like, fine, let him go. But my friend, if I see your face around, you know,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. No, I agree
For
with
example.
you, definitely.
The other thing is that, you know, you miss a whole beginning piece of his life. for me, if they showed that,
That would have been more intense.
So if the film started off and you see him being the dad and he loves his wife and they're
Playing
playing
with the
ball,
kid, yeah.
and then there's bad news. So
they could have started off with a tea party, because later on
see?
she asked him to come for tea and she had
You
like the
see?
teddy bears, and
it would have
they
like
should have
hooked
done
it
that.
back. So
Yeah.
because for me, it would have been more sentimental scene where he comes from.
yeah.
Because for me, I was I couldn't quite understand his, I didn't get him. I got him, but I didn't get him. There could have been
Yeah.
a bit more,
Yeah, no,
Alright.
I agree.
So why? Oh, the other thing is that, okay, and I think the answer was there. Like the whole time when he transported her, right? Obviously he finds him in the van at the back, then he
Yeah.
puts him up in front. Like, why didn't they run? And then obviously, okay, but they didn't really know. Do you think that was it? Do you think that was the
Look,
case?
they did say when he took her to the diner, took them to the diner.
Yeah.
They said they were coming here to work to pay their father's debt.
From Mexico,
Obviously, they didn't know what work it was, so they thought they're coming to be waiters or whatever. So which is the case. They do that often. They'll tell girls there's a job opportunity in a foreign country, whatever, and then the girls come and
Yeah.
that's part of the trap. So I think with that it was they did think they were coming for work, but they didn't think they were coming for that type of work, because the sister still said she wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like who? Like
Taylor Swift. I was finished when he was like, no, I don't like Taylor Swift.
Joel's reaction. I'm like,
Yes.
he would know. He's a singer.
Yeah,
He's like, no, I don't like Taylor Swift.
don't
He's
like
probably
Taylor Swift.
I'm not listening. Throw away my King and Country CDs.
Sorry, all
Or
you
delete
Taylor
them.
Swift fans out there.
So yeah, that paid, because I'm like waiting for them to run and stuff. But yeah, definitely. The other thing is that the relationship between James and the girl, for me, could have been played a bit more.
More, yeah.
Like while they traveling together before he drops her off, because
Yeah.
I think to see her go, and then like sudden, the doors open, then there she walks across. They could have, I don't know, just would have.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You're just like, why?
Wow, Ryan, you wanted more romance. Ryan actually wanted romance.
There-
Did you hear that?
I was looking, but there was no romance there.
No, there wasn't.
It was just, there should have been like a lock.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Something to, deepen,
Look, one thing I do respect is, so I'm pretty sure at the time this film was made, Joel was married already in fact, he definitely was, because he actually said this film came after, so it's a funny story actually. So Luke, right, who's the other brother, got married, and at Luke's wedding, Mariah, who's Joel's wife, basically like crashed the wedding. She didn't crash the wedding. She was someone else's + 1 at the wedding, right?
What?
And then that's where her and Joel met. So they actually met. He met
Cool.
his wife at his brother's wedding.
That's cool.
That's actually how they met. So after the wedding, they were like obviously getting married and all of that. And I think that's also where like it added on to the movement of speaking up for like the worth of women. But one thing I must say is like the boundaries that he kept between him and the female actress, like there was no, do you get what I'm
Respect,
saying?
yeah.
There was respect, and there wasn't
Yeah,
any.
we've spoken about that.
Yeah,
How the wife would feel.
yeah.
To see.
Which I personally still don't agree with. I don't agree with. I know that everyone will be like, yeah, but it's part of your profession. You're acting. But how many affairs have come out of acting relationships? I mean, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie for one.
Boom.
There we go, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I suppose maybe, but they could have, I suppose, in like dialogue and stuff, gone a little bit deeper with the relate. Like they didn't have to get physical
They
about
could have
it.
had a bubbly conversation.
Yeah.
They could have related on a few things.
Yeah.
Do you like what? I like. Oh, what about? And then they
Yeah.
sing together, and they're like,
Because
wow,
it was like he fell in love with a stranger,
exactly.
or he just felt sorry for her,
Mm.
and then the sorriness came out of, I don't
It
know.
was like the
The end was quite cute though. The way like the how they ended it, there was
Yeah.
like more depth to the relationship. But
See, they got married, and
yeah,
now they were
Spoiler
working
alert.
together. And anyway, you could have skipped over that one. Just wear your spoiler proof earphones.
spoiler proof earphones.
Yeah.
Although I think I might know why there were some of these issues. So do you know that they filmed in Albuquerque in New Mexico?
Yep, Mexico.
Do you know how many days they took to film?
14.
17 days.
17 days.
17 days. They
Wait.
filmed this in 17 days.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
That's not even a month.
Exactly. So I think maybe from like a budget perspective, they were like, it wasn't a big budget film.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it's not like it's for what they had. They did well with
look,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, definitely.
And the music. There's something about if a film's on a small budget, you have to make sure your music is right, because if the music's not right, it just makes the film worse. Like the fact that they did the soundtrack was definitely a good thing, because the soundtrack
been waiting for it for a long time.
Yeah, and the soundtrack was so good. It really was so good. It's like, for me, on the top there with movie soundtracks, and I listen to film soundtracks. I'm that weird person that sits listening to film soundtracks.
Yeah,
and
I'm just watching. I'm just like, and then they're like, "Oh, did you hear the soundtrack?" And I'm like,
no.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and watch it again and listen carefully.
Yeah, no, the soundtrack was really good, but that was insane. The fact that they filmed it in 17 days.
I would expect the soundtrack from King and Country,
to be good.
knowing the band's background and how much they love. Because I mean, all their music is so cinematic.
Yeah, no,
like,
it is.
They always have these like really cool intros and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
if I can give you a tip, so I watched this film and immediately I messaged a friend and was like, "You need to watch this film. Have you watched this film?" And she then went and watched the trailer for it and then was like, "I'm going to watch it." She literally watched it the same night as me, and then the next day at church we were like, talking about it. But then she said the trailer basically gave everything away. So I didn't watch the trailer. I've decided I'm not going to watch trailers anymore. I didn't watch the trailer, so for me it was a complete surprise. There was nothing like, "Oh yeah, that's going to happen." Like you literally watched it for the first time.
I think I'm going to make a shirt like that.
I don't
trailer with a cross through it.
I don't watch trailers. Nice. So if you're fine with spoilers, then watch the trailer. I saw the trailer when I was doing research, and it is a good trailer, but it does give away a lot of the story. So if you don't like spoilers, then don't watch the trailer. Warning. Yeah. But I loved the storyline. I loved the music. The music was stunning. And you know what was nice about this film is it was a film about family, because they were restoring families within the film. I mean, obviously his family was restored. The guy from The Office,
I thought it was really nice that he got his daughter at the end.
Yes,
that was cool.
Yeah. So family was restored. So it was a story about family, but at the same time it was brought to light by a family, because literally the director, the main actor and the producer are brothers. So like the three of them are brothers. Yeah. And in interviews, they actually spoke about the fact that when they were kids, they would be playing in the backyard, and what they would play together was making a film. And Joel said that he would always play the Indiana Jones role, so he was always Indiana Jones. And then Luke, who was the producer, he also sings in For King and Country. He would always be the first to die. So I guess that's why he wasn't in the film. He never made it.
He's the youngest, I think.
I think so,
Luke.
But the tallest.
Yeah, I don't know where Ben stands.
Yeah.
But I know Luke's younger.
Younger than Joel.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a dream come true for them to actually be able to make this film, this feature film. So I think for them it was really cool. And I love the fact that it's a film that places so much value and so much worth upon women, but it was made by a whole bunch of guys. Like, for me, that is just so cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it really shows the heart of God, and how I know we're in a movement, like in a generation now where it's all women's rights and all feministic things, but like this wasn't that. It wasn't women are better than men. It wasn't injustice. Obviously, it wasn't justice, but like, as in, like, not like
it wasn't injustice. Wait, what?
No, it was. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, they weren't, and they didn't have to bring men down to do it. In fact, they said in order to be a real man, you need to place value on women. That's what real men do. That's what. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I loved how it was just a whole, it placed so much value on women and being a girl and taking care of girls, but it also showed how men have such a big role in that, and men should be placing the value on women and saving women. And so I really just enjoyed that it had such a beautiful message. It really had such a good message to it. Yeah. And the fact that it was made by a whole bunch of dudes was also pretty cool. So you go, guys. You're awesome. Want to tell all the men listening, you guys are awesome. Yeah. We love you. Yeah. As the female side of things, we love you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome. We just spoke on behalf of like all men and all women. Yes, we did. If you have an issue, comment down below. Yeah, no, but it was a really good film. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I want to check the other films
other film
from
out.
Ben. Yeah, from Ben Smallbone.
No, he's definitely good. And the music videos. If you haven't seen For King and Country's
They're very
music
good.
videos, go watch. There's one
They're
of
very
their
good.
later songs is called Unsung Hero. I love it. It's a tribute to their parents. They actually do a tribute to their mom and dad. But the music video is beautiful. It's so good. So go check that out. Yeah. For King and Country is definitely a vibe. A whole vibe. By themselves. Brian is looking at Ben Smallbone. That is why he's gone quiet. Just in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
What are the other films?
That's what I'm trying to look for.
What's the one next to
Oh.
Prices?
Yeah, Steve McQueen, but that was 2017. There was a movie actually called Burn the Ships. I want to see it because there's a song from King and Country called Burn the Ships.
Maybe they still. When's it coming out? Or when did it come out?
Well, let's have a look. No, it's 2017.
Oh. Yeah?
There you go. Okay, I Still Believe it was 2020.
I Still Believe is a beautiful movie. I cried so much in that film that I was hiding from my family.
He was the editor in it.
Really?
Ben Smallbone.
Wow.
Yeah. And
No,
then
I literally, that film, if you're sad, don't watch that film.
if you're sad.
Don't watch it.
Are you sad?
I cried.
Are you sad,
No,
Sashi?
no. As in, like, if you're not in a good place, like, don't watch it because it's sad. Like, okay, it's got a good ending, but oh my goodness, I cried. I was finished. I literally was hiding behind my legs. Like, I was sitting on the couch because I didn't want my family
Yes,
to
Steve.
see. I, like, cried.
That's hectic, eh?
Oh my goodness, that movie made me cry. But it was a good film, but it made me cry.
Well, he edited it.
there we go.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. You
And then-
brought tears to my eyes, literally.
And then Finding You,
Finding
which he was
You.
involved in the editorial department. So somewhere there.
I don't think I've watched that.
So someone who can edit can direct. And someone who can direct can edit.
There we go.
But he directed Steve McQueen,
What is Steve McQueen?
American Icon. It's probably a...
Like a biopic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It'll be interesting to check.
Right? Yeah. But that is the film Priceless right there. It's a nice film. Go watch it. It's a feel-good movie. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's drama, thriller, and romance. Literally in one.
Yes.
Yeah? So there you go. And if I may say so myself, Joel Smallbone is very good looking. So for all the ladies out there, you'll be enjoying the view, the whole film. He has the perfect jawline. Literally.
Do you think his tattoos were real?
No.
The one looked a bit darker than the other one.
I don't think
I was
they
like,
will.
that
He
one's
doesn't
fake,
have
that one's fake.
tattoos.
Hey, you never know.
I've never seen him.
Okay.
Okay, but I haven't I don't know him personally, but his jawline is gorgeous, if I may say so a second time. Yes, I think that's a good way to end the show, don't you, Ryan?
We're going to find out if he has.
Ryan's just
Tattoos.
ignoring me. He's like, tattoos. Are the
No comment
tattoos
on
real?
that. No comment on that. All I've got is pictures from him on the movie scene.
There we go.
That's why you see those.
He could, I suppose, but I don't think he does.
No, he does. Look at that.
Does he?
That is a
Ah.
whatever you want to call it, a personal a photograph off the scene. It just, yeah.
There we go, people. In case
So
you were
there-
wondering, Joel Smallbone does indeed have tattoos. But I'm sure some of them were added on. Like, yeah.
Because
Yes.
they needed to look all.
Yeah, there we
You
go.
know.
Yeah, so this has been the movie show. The Priceless
no
movie
way.
show.
Sorry. Whoa. Joe Smallbone's tattoos were fake.
Oh!
So much so that they constantly peeled while filming and had to be reapplied.
I
each
told you
time.
you didn't have tattoos.
You also had to wear the tattoos during the For King and Country shows while moving. Okay, cool.
Wow.
There you go.
Hectic. Yeah, but good film. Go
So,
watch it.
On a good point to end it.
Yeah, there we go. But this is us now.
Mm.
Leaving.
So we will
Next week we will be back.
See you next week.
Yep. Peace.
Cheers.
Active FM. Radio has never been better.